At this point, just do it. Just do it, man. Just give me Jurassic Galaxy. We all know it's coming eventually. Dinosaurs in space. Just do it. It's a dumb idea, but just do it.
Okay. Do it. Do it.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the 7th installment in the Jurassic Park series. Yes, it is Jurassic Park. I don't care if it's been rebranded as Jurassic World. It is Jurassic Park. That is Jurassic World Rebirth, the 4th Jurassic World movie. This one stars an all-new cast. No Chris Pratt, no Bryce Dallas Howard. It's got Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey. 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, covert operations expert Zora Bennett is contracted to lead a skilled team on a top-secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized, they all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face to face with a sinister, shocking discovery that's been hidden from the world for decades. I'll tell you what, they at least simplify that in the movie to a degree. That second half with the family, we'll talk about in a minute. I wanted to go into this and come out of this hoping and thinking that it would at least be better than both Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. And I do think that. I don't think it's better than any of the other Jurassic World movies, though, or the Jurassic Park movies. It's pretty much middle of the pack. As for every fresh idea this movie has, it just goes back to what makes everything feels so cliche in this series and relies on nostalgia baits. There are scenes in this movie that are literally replicating scenes that you've seen done better by a better craftsman. That's not to take anything away from Gareth Edwards, because this is the one that I have to give credit to that is able to try and conjure up the magic of the original Jurassic Park to the best of its ability. And I think it is the one that actually does, out of all the sequels, because Jurassic World tried to do it too, capture the magic, but it always fails to do it because they just rely so much on nostalgia bait. There are literally scene-for-scene recreations of moments from the original Jurassic Park movie. There is a scene in here where they are wandering in a field of dinosaurs, and I'm like, they're gonna play the theme. They're gonna play the theme. And I thought that they should have played the theme earlier in that scene instead of after something happens. And I'll talk about that more in my spoiler review as to why I didn't necessarily connect with that. But there's also a similar scene to the kitchen scene in the original Jurassic Park that's in here that just borrows heavily from other movies in the series, despite looking visually fantastic and Gareth Edwards able to really capture the scope and the scale of dinosaurs roaming the world and dinosaurs themselves and how big this part of the world is that the dinosaurs now inhabit. All of that is done really well, and I actually do think that Gareth Edwards is probably the perfect director to helm a Jurassic Park movie because he has dabbled with creature features before. If you haven't seen his 2014 Godzilla movie, there's many shots in here that evoke that, and there's many shots in here that really set up the tension of the dinosaurs in similar ways that they set up the tension with Godzilla in the first movie of the MonsterVerse, Godzilla in 2014, that I actually thought, even though it's borrowing from that film, that is Gareth Edwards' style. He knows how to get you anticipated for the next big action set piece. And when it comes to the set pieces, I think you will be really surprised to find that this really is trying to harken back to some of the set pieces that were in the original Jurassic Park movie, as opposed to some of the more big, bombastic, plain, cheesy, grade B movie thrills that the Jurassic World sequels tried to capture. And those are fun. But if you're looking for something that captures more of what the original Jurassic Park is, you will probably really like this. For me, there was one standout action sequence, and I thought that that is where the movie really, really hit its stride and actually peaked. And it's early on in the movie involving Zora and her team chasing the Mosasaurus in a really extended water chase that I thought was really, really well done. The rest of the action didn't really hold up it's ended the bargain compared to that scene. That was the standout scene to me. Even the scene on the raft that everybody's talking about, I didn't think was as good as that. I thought that that captured the intensity, the urgency, the emotion in that scene better than any other action scene in this movie did. When it comes to the dinosaurs, I can't tell if they're CGI'd when they're CGI'd. Everything looked animatronic. So I'll give the movie that. It is well made. Gareth Edwards knows how to tip the scale in his favor, where he can show the scale of the dinosaur, show the scope of this world, with dinosaurs still inhabiting this world. And he tries to harken back to the original Jurassic Park. But once again, this movie is hampered by really, really stupid characters that call themselves experts. And you would think that the experts would not make any stupid decisions, and of course they do. It's a predictable as hell story because you know who the bad guy is. You know the stupid decisions that they're going to make. I actually really liked Jonathan Bailey in this movie because he's just like a walking, talking, like plots hole pointer outer. He's like saying all these stupid lines that are either pointing out the plot holes or just really calling out everybody's stupidity. And for instance, there's this one scene that's stuck in my head, and I don't know why it's just stuck in my head, but somebody says something. He's literally like, "No, we shouldn't do that. That's stupid." And then literally the next sentence is him pointing out a plot point. I'm like, this is really what he is here for. He has no purpose in this movie. The characters in this movie, everything you learn about them is from exposition. There isn't anything else to really grab onto. It's just people saying lines of dialogue about the characters, and that's all you really have to know. I don't care about Zora all that much. I think Mahershala Ali, Duncan, he was probably the best character. Jonathan Bailey could have been great, but he didn't have all that much to do. It just felt like he was just forced onto this adventure. And we have this whole subplot with this family on the raft. Yeah, I didn't hate the family. I just didn't like the subplot. Did not need to be in this movie, made the movie feel way too long. It was just extra baggage and felt like an entirely different monster movie premise and script that was fused together to make a Jurassic Park movie. That they said, like, hey, you know what? It's only been 3 years since Jurassic World Dominion. That's enough time to make another one, right? Here's these two ideas. Now make a script out of that. And that's exactly what happened. There are some emotional beats that I actually thought really worked. Like, I don't know anybody's names in this movie other than the main three, which is pretty bad. That tells you how bad the characters are. But the little girl that was part of that family, she forms this bond with this little dinosaur that I thought was actually really cute. So it's things like that that the movie does really well. Other things, when it harkens back to so many nostalgia baity moments, like trying to recapture the first time that people see a dinosaur in real time, and it plays the Jurassic Park theme. And then there's another scene where the secondary Jurassic Park theme plays. I think it's called Going to the Island, Adventure to the Island or something. That plays in a scene, and I'm just like, this doesn't feel natural. It's like that scene in Jurassic World where the kid opens up his window and he sees Jurassic World or like the snow or something, and the theme starts playing. I didn't like that. It felt too nostalgia baity for me, and it doesn't feel as fresh as it leads you on to believe. It's definitely not as convoluted as some descriptions you would probably read online. It's actually more simplified, but there are long chunks of this movie where I felt like I was starting to get a little disinterested because it is trying to capture that tension and suspense that the original one had instead of the straightforward action monster movie vibes that the last trilogy gave us. It just felt like it wasn't really meshing all that well together, and it kind of contradicts itself when it does that because it does turn into a monster movie at the end. That's what these Jurassic World movies exist for. They're just dumb monster movies at this point. That's why I'm saying, just, you know what, if you want to just go as outrageous as possible, put it in space, put dinosaurs in space, put them up in a rocket, throw them on Mars, have them swinging through the atmosphere with no gravity in outer space as they burn up in like Earth's atmosphere or something before they hit a black hole. Don't do that. That's not a good idea. Don't do that at all. I wouldn't put it past them. Wouldn't shock me. So would I recommend Jurassic World Rebirth? Well, I don't think it's necessarily a rebirth. I think the more correct title for this movie is Jurassic World Rehash, but there's enough here that I was like, I can see more, even if I don't really connect with the characters on an emotional level. particularly our three main leads who I think the acting is really good, but the characters themselves just aren't that great. But I would see them in another Jurassic movie over Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard and other characters that appeared in the previous three Jurassic World movies. I'm not saying bring back the original cast or anything. They had their time. Unfortunately, they were brought back in the last one in a really terrible Jurassic movie. It does feel a bit like a rehash at some points, and it doesn't capture the magic that it thinks it's capturing and falls back into monster movie territory. I'm going to say Jurassic World Jurassic World Rehash is as good with half a bucket of popcorn. It's definitely a lot better than Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. If that was your worry going in here, I don't think you're gonna really have all that much to worry about. It's not hard to top of those two. And I don't even think Fallen Kingdom is like anywhere near as bad as Dominion when you think about it. I really do find the first half of Fallen Kingdom to be fun in that cheesy, stupid, silly type of way. It's the second half of that movie that really tanks it, and Dominion just completely dropped the ball. But this is much, much better. And that's all I could really ask for, even with all of my gripes with this movie. So if you have seen Jurassic World Rebirth, let me know what you think of it. I will have a spoiler review coming very soon. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Matted, and I will see you at the movies somewhere.